past, future, future, days, past, days of future past! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am playing the theme to the X-Men, which I don't own. But I'm here to tell you that I just got back from watching the film X-Men Days of Future Past, showing a great X-Men film. A very great X-Men film. I can honestly tell you, before I even go into spoilers, into plot or anything, for those who are hardcore X-Men fans, go watch this film. Or if you're not, go watch this film. You will love this film. Okay, so basically Days of Future Past is the sequel to X-Men First Class, but it is also a continuance from X-Men The Last Stand. Excuse me, I'm gonna need something to get that taste out of my mouth. Okay, excuse me a minute. Okay, so X-Men Days of Future Past is where the future sucks. Almost every sequel, the future sucks. Terminator, the future sucks. Star Wars, the future sucks. X-Men, the future sucks. So the future in the Days of X-Men, the X-Men Days of Future Past, is where everyone is band together to stand up against Trask and his Sentinels. And you actually learn this, that Days of Future Past is coming, from a scene shown at the end of the Wolverine film, which I actually own. There was a scene where somehow Professor Xavier got back into his own body, which I have no idea how, but I don't care. And him and Magneto have band together because the Sentinels are coming. And they are awesome. Not like how they were in the Last Stand, which that was nothing but a show. Just a show. But so, what is it that causes this event to cause this future? Well, first, before I even go into that, they basically say, look, we need to go, apparently, Kitty Pryde can go back in time. So, every time a Sentinel attack is coming, the film starts with the X-Men, like, Iceman, Colossus, and other X-Men that I don't know, and these two brothers and sisters, I'm guessing, who can use open portals and stuff. They all get killed, but then all of a sudden, when Kitty is transporting the guy that I don't know, the black guy with the gun, and a mutant I don't know, she says, too late, and when they get there, they're gone. They went back in time to, she sent his consciousness back in time to warn them before the Sentinels ever showed up so they could have more time. So then they discover, we need to send someone back in time to fix what happened so many years ago. They decide to send Wolverine because he is the only person whose mind can physically repair itself. So they send Wolverine back in time, and it's so funny. He wakes up, and he's in bed with a girl, and when he wakes up, they're all like, get out of here. All right, we're basically, the mob was going to kill him, and he's like, you don't want to do that. Why is that? Because I got these. And instead of the adamantium, it was the bone claws, which I thought was freaking hilarious. Even though I have said in many of my films, or my reviews for X-Men, I hate the bone claws. I just do not like the bone claws, but that's just a personal thing. That's just like a little nitpick, but it was funny in this. Because if the bone claws are a part of the X-Men universe and they're just not thrown in there, it does make sense, and that was awesome. So, you know, Logan gets a car, drives to the mansion, and he finds Hank and he finds a professor. who a lot of my friends were noticing the professor is able to walk, and they do explain that. They made a serum that also, along with suppressing Hank's ability from being the Beast, it allows the professor to walk, but it also suppresses his powers with the mind. He couldn't take the voices, like with how Professor Xavier does with Cerebro and stuff. The voices were too much, and he couldn't take it. And since Mystique left him, and since Eric went on a freaking massacre, or not really a massacre, but he snapped and went crazy, he's been depressed, drinking, soothing, and Logan's like, alright, look, I was sent here by you from the future to tell you about what's going to happen, and apparently what happens is we get Trask, who was actually done right, unlike in X-Men The Last Stand. I take a drink every time I say that film. He is actually done right. In this film, instead of him being the Secretary of Defense, he wants to destroy the mutants. He gives a reason to making the Sentinels, and he wants to make them to destroy the mutants. Now, they do say that the Sentinels are so unstoppable because Mystique tries to assassinate Trask. She gets captured. They take her DNA and they apply it to the Sentinels, and they can adapt to anything and survive any attack that the mutants fire at them. Like Iceman, for example. They kill Iceman. They kill Colossus. They kill a mutant that can turn himself into freaking fire. I don't think it's Pyro, because Pyro actually has to have a lighter to make the fire. So, I don't know who it was. Storm is in this film. A lot of the mutants in this film, this film takes more place in the past than it does in the future. So basically they find this, they find out, Logan, they finally get the professor to agree to what they're gonna do. You know, I'll break out Magneto, but only to help get Raven back. And we find out that William Stryker is in this film as well. But this is like when he's a general, and there is a certain part of the military base, and we see a bunch of mutants. We see Toad. Crap, who else do we see? We see Toad. We see Scott's brother. I forget what his name was. I forget what mutant he was supposed to play. Those are the we get one mutant who can make people sick. He had like the disease thing on his hand, like whenever he used his powers it would turn into the biohazard symbol or something like that. And then there was another mutant who made his eyes get bigger, like his pupils would get bigger, and then something happened. But basically it was Mystique breaking the mutants out and taking them to freedom, and they're like, where's Eric? I'm on my own now. They never actually do say what it is that happened. I don't know if they're going to make another movie, but Mystique sneaks into Trask's office and finds plans for the Sentinels and all the things he's done with past mutants, experimenting on them, killing them, and all the things like that. So she wants to kill him. She wants to take him out. And so that's what makes this dark future, is her wanting to assassinate him. She fails, and then everything just all goes to crap. So that's why Logan is sent in the future to prevent it. Now, when they do try to break out Magneto, they do locate a mutant. I believe his name is called Whiplash, and he is so freaking funny. When they go to his house, his mom's like, "What has he done now?" It's like, we're here for him and stuff like that. And they're like, he's playing ping pong in his basement because he can run super fast. And they basically say, we need you to break into the Pentagon to sneak out Magneto. So they all go on a tour, and he breaks Magneto out in a funny way. Extremely hilarious. While Logan and Professor Xavier pretend to be security guards, and Hank is in a tour messing with stuff. And so, like, when he breaks Magneto out and they start doing a shootout, it shows like him using his powers to slow it down. They show everything he does. He like takes two people's guns, two people are holding guns. He puts them like this, and he puts a guy's fist to his face, and it's just all awesome. So then they have a discussion about like what happened, and the reason why Professor Xavier can't use his powers anymore is because of that serum. But basically, he felt that Eric betrayed him for what he tried to do. With that whole incident in Colombia, with the freaking missiles and everything, he blames Eric for his paralysis. And then Eric, when they're in the freaking X-Men jet, or in like their private plane or something, he's like, "You left us." You know, and he said that all the mutants that went with him died. Hazazel died. Freaking, Angel, I think. No, not Angel. Maybe it was her. The chick in in X-Men First Class who had the wings on her back, who was a stripper. She died. Everyone died. And so when they tell Eric about this, he actually tries to kill her. That's the whole entire thing. He thinks, well, if I just simply kill Mystique, this won't happen. And so that's basically what he tries to do in this entire film, is he tries to kill them. Now, we do get a debut of the Sentinels, and the Sentinels look awesome. Like, they change their looks, and they look really awesome. And there's two forms of the Sentinels. There's the future form, which they kind of look like Mystique on the outside, but robotic, except without the boobs and stuff like that. And there's the actual metal form. And so, when they're in a meeting, Mystique took the form of a general who she choked out and made him pass out, or she killed him. And he has a machine inside the Sentinels that it can detect when a mutant is inside. And the Sentinels somehow have lasers or guns that can attack the mutant X gene, or it can sense the mutant X gene, and it can tell who's a mutant and who's not. So she basically starts kicking everybody's butt. And then, all of a sudden, here comes Professor Xavier, here comes Wolverine, Magneto, Hank. They all try to stop her. And when this happens, Magneto goes on his first killing spree, or somewhat, and tries to kill her. Shoots her in the leg. She jumps out the window, and then we get like a fight between Beast and Magneto. And then Magneto gets away. And we get to the part where Xavier tries to use Cerebro, but he hasn't used Cerebro in a long time, and he's afraid. He is afraid of what will happen. He's afraid that his mind is going to crack, and he just can't take it. So there's many times when Wolverine fades. There's a time where Wolverine fades in and out of the time that he's in, because when everything goes down at the Pentagon, or in Washington, or in Paris, in Paris, I think, or some place with the president. No, never mind. Yeah, it might have been in Paris. I don't know. Wolverine runs into William Stryker, and when he sees Stryker, his mindset gets restarted, and they have to hold him down. And freaking Wolverine pops out his claws and accidentally cuts Kitty, and she's having to stand in this position, holding him in that time, and she's losing blood. She's losing a lot of blood. It's crazy. I tell you, there were so many times this film had me on the edge of my seat. This was a good film, good drama, good everything. And so, Mystique actually tracks down Magneto, and he's like, basically, it's your fault that the future is the way it is, and I figured taking you out would fix it. Or it's supposed to fix it. And so, she doesn't want to war. Mystique doesn't want a war. She just wants to stop it from ever happening. but the way she wants to do it is going to start it. And Magneto's like, there's already a war. You know, you can't stop this war. Magneto is still on the verge of killing humans because he's afraid that we're going to be afraid and not understand and try to do what Trask is trying to do. So, after Magneto escapes from Washington, escapes from Paris, it's in Paris where this is happening. I finally remembered, escapes from Paris. He goes back to the Pentagon, I believe. He goes back to the Pentagon wearing an awesome hat, and he goes on a metal hurting spree. And he gets the helmet, and in this place, there's the damaged thing where Scott's older brother was using his powers in X-Men First Class. There's the girl's wings, and there's his helmet. And his helmet looked awesome, and when he finally gets it, and he puts it on, he goes to a baseball field and he lifts up the arena and puts it over the White House. And Magneto, what he's doing is he took control of all the Sentinels by basically, what did he do? He did something like with these metal bars on the train tracks where the Sentinels were being transported, and he like used the metal to like do something to make them work for him, basically. And then we finally get to where Professor Xavier is like, I don't want your future. I don't want it. I don't want it to happen. So Wolverine basically is like, look, I know that this is hard, but you cannot do what you're doing. He can't give himself that injection anymore, because if he does, he's just not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to help. So then, after they use Cerebro, Wolverine's like, look into my mind. And when he does, he's like, I don't want your future. Look, forget my future. Look in your future. And he has a talk with his older self. And his older self says, just because you've lost your way, or just because you stumped, doesn't mean you've totally lost your way. You can always come back. So with that, he finally starts to try to talk to Mystique, and he gets stronger throughout the film, and he's desperately trying to reach the child, to reach the girl that he grew up with, and he finally realizes, I've been trying to control you my whole life. Whatever happens now is in Mystique's hands. It's all up to Mystique, and they're really wanting her to make the right decision because the Sentinels are coming. It keeps reverting back to the future where all the mutants, including like Storm, Magneto, Professor Xavier, Kitty Pryde, Iceman, Colossus, dude's name I don't know, Fire dude's name I don't know, are all basically hiding out, waiting for Logan to come back, or waiting for the future to be fixed. And when she starts losing too much blood, Iceman's like, look, we've got to do this. And Magneto's like, we don't have a choice, Bobby. She has to keep doing it because Logan's not done yet. So then when the Sentinels start coming, they do what they do best. Magneto takes the X-Men jet and Storm destroys it, destroying a bunch of them. But the thing is, Storm died. I was shocked that Storm died. I thought they killed all the Sentinels. All of a sudden, here comes one, stabs her, throws her over the wall. Magneto gets hit in the chest, and he's dying slowly. And him and Charles are talking, and he's like, all those years of fighting, and look where it's gotten us. It's gotten us nowhere. And then Iceman, Colossus gets ripped in half by Sentinels. The two teleporting twins, one of them, the girl gets like stabbed multiple times. And when all this is happening, I'm like, no, what's gonna happen? Oh gosh, this is horrible. And so, when all this is happening, we're at basically the main climax. And when the president gets put into the bunker, Magneto rips it out, and he has all the Sentinels go on a killing spree and attacking humans. My exact words were, oh, you Christopher Titus, this is what I remember from Christopher Titus. It was basically like this. His dad opened the door. You mother... Oh!